Matt Wilkinson.
That's one.
Here we go then. Damon Albarn in the studio in London with me. Before we get into it...
I thought I was doing it.
Before we get into it...
That's what I was doing.
What?
I was just talking.
We are just
under a beat.
The beat will come in a minute, Damon.
Oh, I see.
We'll get onto the music in a minute. First things first, how's Del? Is he all right?
Good question. Del is in hospital still in Roskilde.
Really? Still in hospital?
So he's got 7 fractured ribs and he punctured his lung.
Wow.
On one side and lacerated it on the other.
This is much worse than I was expecting.
He's going to be fine.
He's going to just a stage fall. But
it was a stage fall. It was just a stage fall, but he just. I mean, I've fallen off stage several times, and I've been so fortunate. I mean, you know, when he fell down, I was looking at him going, "Come on, get up!"
And he didn't.
There's like 80,000 people out there, and we need to finish this. You know what I mean? I was like, I thought I was going to be able to carry the song on. I thought he was going to be okay. He was just sort of momentarily
Oh.
But no, he really wasn't. He was like properly
But he's going to be all right.
He's going to be all right, yeah, bless him.
I hope Del gets better.
He will get better. He will totally, he will be. He will be. He's going to be fine.
By the time we put this out, England may or may not be in the World Cup final. Thoughts?
My thoughts are, I'm really very happy that we're not playing Russia. I was really anxious about that.
Have you got into World Cup fever?
Have I got into World Cup fever? Yeah. Well, I'm a massive football fan anyway, so World Cup it's like that thing that comes around very rarely, and for this to happen, and for us to feel genuinely like we stand a good chance, there's even more. I've never felt that feeling before.
It's new to me, and 3 Lions is number 1.
But that's not weird. I mean, people have really taken to that. It's sort of it is coming home. In itself, it's coming home, or it's arrived home.
That song is definitely
it's fantastic. I'm very pleased for everyone involved in that song.
Yeah,
especially Ian Brody. I just think it's really. I'm delighted.
They're playing Hyde Park.
Oh, of course.
Hyde Park is screening it. It's going to be the biggest football screening in Europe or something like that. And I think
brilliant. And they're going to come on. They're going to brilliant.
It's great for.
No, they're going to have. It's wonderful.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Final bit of music housekeeping before we get into the Gorilla stuff, which you are in here primarily to talk about. Good, the Band, the Queen. Can we have a little update on that? I spoke to Zayn recently and said it's ticking along. Is it the same band as last time?
It's the same band. It's finished pretty much.
Does it sound like a continuation of the first record?
I have to wait and see. Really,
I loved that first album.
See if it does. I mean, I think it's a strong record. Is
Danger Mouse still involved?
No.
Okay.
No, we worked sort of with Tony Visconti on this record.
Today is about Gorillaz. The Now is out now. 20 years old, pretty much. Now. 1998, 99, I think you guys started it, you and Jamie, when you were in West London flat sharing. When you were at that point, sort of daydreaming this up, I guess.
90s, yeah, late 90s.
Watching a lot of MTV. The story is that you're watching MTV
we weren't
a lot.
watching that much MTV. I just bought this. We were living together. We were sharing a flat, 2-bedroom flat, with a roof terrace overlooking the bottom of Westbourne Grove near Port Vila Road. And I bought this television, which for about a week was like the flashiest television you could buy in the United Kingdom.
Did it have a back on it? Or was it flat screen?
It was a Panasonic, and it had 8. You could split it into 8 screens.
Wow!
And watch 8 different things. Now, back in 1997,
maybe 5 channels.
1997, to be able to watch that much, was quite mind blowing.
Anyway, you actually made any music.
Anyway, so we used to go to the pub and get people to come back, and impress them with our television.
But it's when you're watching MTV, you got annoyed.
Well, in one of the channels, there was that MTV might have been going on, but I mean, we weren't just watching MTV. But it's true. I suppose we just thought, how can we make kind of pop music that, because I think there was a bad time in a way for pop music when virtually every other band was a boy band. Listen, the truth of most pop music is that it's teams of people.
Is Gorillaz a team in that sense?
Yes, but not a team with just one person being kind of presented as being the finished article in themselves. It's an illusion. It's a fantastic fabulous illusion.
It is. This is what I want to get into.
But that's what Gorillaz is. It doesn't hide the illusion. It is in itself the illusion,
which is a beautiful thing. And I can't really think of many other things in pop music like that. What I want to do is celebrate Gorillaz. Go through the Gorillaz Essentials playlist on Apple Music, which is a great place, not just to start, but to really get stuck into the evolution of that band. We're going to kick it off with the
It's a very Darwinian word.
We're going to kick it off with where Gorillaz are at in 2018 and Hollywood from the new record, The Now Now.
Now.
Apple Music Essentials.
How many times have people done that, The Now Now? Is that now?
Now.
It's very easy to do.
Just add an extra now on the end of anything which ends with now. Or whenever you say now, just add another one.
Now.
Now.
I'm here with Damon Albarn. We're talking about the Now, right now, on Beats One. Now. What are you eating there? Got some fruit?
Tangerine.
Clint Eastwood, the first song by Gorillaz that I ever heard. And at that point, it was weird because Blur was such a big thing in the UK. It was kind of like, wow, this is a strange side project. And what I noticed was in a lot of interviews that you did around then, you were playing with the audience a little bit and saying, I'm not really involved. It's just this thing. And I'm singing on a couple of songs.
I started off really being quite militant about the idea that I'd never find out it was me. And then one of the first things we did was an interview to, I don't know, Spin or Rolling Stone or someone in America.
Yeah.
And we all decided we would be the characters' voices. But we wouldn't get other people to do it. We'd do it.
In your normal voices or put on voices?
No, we put on voices.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, there's Remy, Jamie and me, and we're all on phones. And we start doing this interview, and I just can't keep it up after a while. I just get really...
Can you remember what the voice
I just said, I can't put on this stupid voice anymore. It's Damon Albarn, you know.
So that
and Jamie was extremely pissed off with me for a long time as a result of that. And understandably, but I just felt so uncomfortable pretending to be.
But there's something, when you think about using cartoons, drawings, images, there's something very universal about that. And I think it's even more universal than music is, because music, as you probably found with Blur, can be quite tribal. You know, Blur much bigger in the UK than they were in Germany or America or whatever. Whereas Gorillaz, for whatever reason, they're a worldwide band.
Yeah.
And they became that very, very quickly. It must have been really appealing for you, late 90s, where you were at personally, to just have this freedom to be like, well, how does Damon Albarn sing a reggae song without people going, what the hell?
I think when we started, I think we were truly doing something that really no one else was doing. And I think in a way, after Demon days, kind of pop music, in a strange way, kind of sort of mutated into our image, you know. And that's how it's ever been ever since.
I think it caught up with you. It's weird.
There's just everything's like that. Everyone collaborates with everyone. Everyone is morphing all the time.
Essentials.
We're talking about Gorillaz Essentials here on Beats One.
But if you've lost me, don't matter. I talk a lot.
We haven't lost you. Damon Albarn is
here,
sitting right in front of me.
Yeah, but I'm not, because you're listening to this and it's no longer now.
You just like saying now.
Now.
Every excuse.
Now.
The next song we're going to play is Feel Good Inc. You work with Danger Mouse on this. There's a lovely quote from you that you say you feel like you've got Danger Mouse.
That's a big jump from
we're going to go back
Clint
and
Eastwood
forth.
to...
Well, the idea of this is to go back and forth the way that the playlist does, and it gels together very well.
Yeah, that was the next time maybe there was that real sort of, oh my goodness, something is happening.
Because initially, when you do the first album, was it just that will this work? And when it suddenly took off in such a massive way, it must have blown your mind.
There were no expectations for it whatsoever. I mean, you know, not going to say who it is.
Yeah.
You can't see anybody.
What did the label think?
Is it hip hop? Is it
when you were trying to sell it to the label? What did they think?
Well, I was very lucky that the guy who was head of the label, Tony Wadsworth, at the time, had and has always had an amazing amount of faith in what I do. And
Danger Mouse, there's a lovely quote from you that says, I feel like we got him at his peak, come off the Grey album.
I'm sure he disagreed.
Yeah.
I disagree with that.
But he was definitely having a beautiful moment.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
Mid-noughties.
Oh, my goodness, he's just absolutely smashed it.
So what does someone like him teach somebody like you?
When I was doing The Good, the Bad and the Queen with him, he was... I'd taken my studio down to Devon. So we were out in the middle of nowhere, his Niles Barkley crazy was starting to really take off. And he said, I've got to go back to America and do some stuff. And I said, well, you're not leaving. I closed the barn door and said, you're not leaving till you finish this record.
Wow.
And I literally...
You got a bit straw dogs on him.
I totally did. I wouldn't let him leave until he'd finished. Then I let him leave and
Straw dogs, Wicker
and go
Man,
and be
that kind of
fabulous
vibe?
everywhere.
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But no, that's true. That's a true story. I wouldn't let him leave.
Fruitful relationship.
compound.
Here's the thing, though. What does somebody like Brian Burton teach someone like Damon Albarn and all those other guys who are in the studio? You know, you're both very successful people by this point.
Well, I don't know. The last conversation we had was at about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning on the Sunday morning of Carnival. And he'd been working with Adele, and I was starting my demos for Humans. And I played him my demos, and he said, "You haven't written any melodies." And then he played me Adele, and I said, "Well, that's very middle of the road, you know." And that was the last time we had a kind of sort of a conversation.
Where did that conversation go after that?
Well, there was someone else in the bloody room who went and flipping sold a story about all that I'd been saying all of this stuff about Adele, and all it was essentially was just us being stupid and slagging each other off.
Maybe he sold it.
She wasn't even
Maybe
anything to do with it. She wasn't actually anything to do with it. If it had been another record, I would have said that. You know what I mean? But she obviously wrote her own narrative and decided that I'd wanted to sort of be rude to her, which is not at all.
You love it, though. You love this kind of tittle-tattle.
No, I don't. Listen, I never get on that board up there.
You do. Your tweet.
Have I
Gorilla's
been on that
tweets
board?
go crazy.
Yeah, but I don't.
When we tweet this, say something to
the
give a little
cartoon
message.
characters tweet that.
But give a little message to the Gorillas community because they go crazy for this stuff. This is something I wanted to talk about. The connection with people is
it's fantastic. It's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, they're like, I still can't quite believe it when, we literally go anywhere in the world and there's such a sort of, just like a weird family, you know?
Apple Music Essential.
Well, I want to play On Melancholy Hill, please, Damon Albarn. This is a lovely, beautiful,
This is a tune. This
song.
is a tune that
It is a tune.
when we put this out, it didn't really get played on the radio at all. But when we play it in a field of 70,000 people, it so feels like it got played a lot on the radio back in the day, but it didn't. And I think I've learned a real lesson from that. I'm happy with it now. I really do enjoy playing it now. At the time, I didn't really. The first time we played it on Plastic Beach, I didn't feel completely right about it. But then again, the audience had only just getting to know it. Now it's sort of, sometimes songs diminish and sometimes they
grow.
Sometimes they grow, yeah.
Those gigs as well. I think I read a quote that said it was about 55 people touring at that point. You had the Syrian National Orchestra, various guests dropping in and out. The Glastonbury performance with Lou Reed and Snoop and people like that. Was there a sense...
that Glastonbury performance...
2010.
Yeah, we sort of made a decision that there was going to be no direct contact with the audience, that it was just going to purely be something that was happening on stage. It wasn't going to employ the usual tactics of
Hi, how are you?
And
how did that work out?
That proved to be a bit of a mistake. Anyway, the next weekend we played Roskilde, a comparably large crowd, and I just sort of returned back to communicating, and it was a brilliant gig, you know. So I do kick myself a bit for agreeing to sort of...
I love the fact you did a Glastonbury headline slot and you thought, sod it.
It wasn't sod it. It was just trying to. It was experimenting right in the middle of everything. You know, sometimes I experiment at times when I should just be getting on with business. But that's me.
Tell me about 2000. This is an early tune. Back to 2001. Were you making the first record in Jamaica? Am I right in thinking?
that? I did all my vocals, and I had the conversation with Tina.
Yeah. Had you met
on the
her
balcony of a studio, overlooking beautiful bay under the Blue Mountains in Jamaica? Yeah, I was like, wow, speaking to one of the Talking Heads.
Yeah.
In my Bermuda shorts.
What does that conversation go like? Is it as prosaic as literally you singing it?
Gorillaz has been very good for me, sort of just dealing with my fear of talking to people on the telephone and meeting new people. which I developed quite a pathological fear of talking on the telephone when I was a kid. It started to become a bit of a problem when instead of having a conversation with someone, I dismantled the street's telephone kind of connections so that my phone wouldn't work.
Did that actually happen?
That did actually happen.
How do you even do that? Did you like time?
Well, back in the day, all you had to do was just go to the telegraph at the end of the road and just pull out undo the thing and pull out the wires.
What happened
but that was
when
a
you
much
did that?
more innocent world. And
what happened
do you know?
when you
You
did
can't
that?
imagine that. You could tap anyone literally at the end of the street. You just get your little box, and you could just go into anyone's conversations because they were all like marked. They were all marked down. What?
Did you honestly
Didn't
do
everyone
that?
used to do this?
No.
Oh.
I don't know a single person who's ever done anything like that before in my life.
Well, it's all coming out today, isn't it?
Wow.
And I used to do another thing which I used to really... It's sort of part of the same weird fear as I used to, like, get the telephone book and then look at Gabon in Africa and just use and then ring up and just talk around. I used to love ringing up parts of the world and then just hearing what it sounded like, because sometimes you'd hear like sort of cicadas or be like sirens, you know, and you could hear the world. There's an early... I mean, the world is like that now anyway, isn't it? Very easily, but then I suppose it took a bit more.
You, as a musician, certainly relish
I
it.
do.
And I
So
guess
maybe
as a
I was
person, you
doing
must
that
do.
back then, you know.
Apple Music Essentials.
All right, this is Matt Wilkinson here. You listen to Beats on. Damon Albarn is here with me in the studio in London. Just heard 192000. We are going through the Essentials playlist from Gorillaz, which is on Apple Music. There's so many tunes on it. It really spans your musical DNA for the past 2 decades, which is a very exciting thing. The next song I want to play is modern day Gorillaz, Ascension, which features Vince Staples. How do you hook up with him?
Yeah, Corey I first met when he was still managing De La Soul. So I've known him for a very long time, and introduced us to Vince. Made this strange tune. Quite dark, isn't it?
A lot of the last record was quite dark.
Well, it
And
was
this
a
new
dark- it
one,
was a
the
dark-
Now, is
Yeah,
quite light.
Yeah,
in a
I
way.
think what I'm trying to explain is like that was kind of sort of anticipating a new world, and the Now is inside that dream. It's part of that dream.
Now.
Yeah, it's in humans. It's in the world that humans created. This is a little spot of that world. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
that's a great way of putting it. To rewind a little bit, I guess the big talking point in the press, certainly before Humans, was the amount of time. You know, it's a full 7 years, really, before the last album per se.
Yeah,
by Gorillaz,
but Jamie and I fell out really badly and didn't talk to each other for a couple of years.
which was a long time.
Yeah, so that's that was partly why it took so long.
And when that happens, and it's a close friend of yours, not only on a personal level but on a professional level as well. I mean, 3-4 years, it is a long time, isn't it? A lot of people wouldn't stick it out for that long. They just say, you know what, let's just bury the hatchet here.
We were always friends. We never fell out in that sense. You know what I mean? We still loved each other. Still talked to each other.
Obviously, you patch things up.
We're straight. We're just different. We're just, you know, we're more grown up now.
The sky's falling, baby, drop that ass for a crib.
Can we get some echo on Damon's cake?
It's very
eating,
nice.
please?
It's actually really nice. Not that vegan food isn't really nice.
Don't offend the vegans
Sometimes my heart does drop a bit when
when you see a sign and it says
when it
vegan.
gets to tea time and it's vegan tea time.
Are you gluten
But
free?
this is lovely.
you find
I'm
with
quite
the
happy to be.
gluten-free
I'm not, but I could be.
Do you still write people letters
I do.
asking them to
I
appear
do.
on Gorillaz tracks?
I really used to find it difficult. I remember when because it always comes down to I have to ask.
Of course, yeah.
You can't do because those sort of people are just not interested in some sort of assistant.
email or
They
management.
want a direct thing.
Yeah.
And
Who says no? Do loads of people say no? Is it
some
kind of-
people have said no and then decided after the event that they actually would love to, like Engelbert Humperdinck.
Really?
Barry Gibb was walking into the studio to do a part and then developed a mysterious ear infection as he was opening the door of the studio and couldn't do it.
And you never saw him again?
We never saw him again.
Did you write to Morrissey? Is that true?
Oh, I had quite a few conversations with Morrissey.
How far did you get? I imagine that must be
Well,
incredibly difficult.
I got as far as him responding and saying thank you very much, but you wouldn't possibly want anyone like me, you know. And I said, oh, but we would. I've never met Morrissey. Sort of few years of my teenage years, he completely enthralled me, and I was obsessed with him. Yeah, but I mean, that was more to do with the band than just him. It was a combination of everything, you know.
Apple Music Essentials.
We're going to get into Kids with Guns. I love this track. I'm glad that it's on the Apple Music Essentials Gorillaz playlist. The lyrics are really great on it. There's a great cover that Jamie T did. Do you remember that?
Maybe we should play that version.
No, we're going to play the original. The original's pretty good. Do you like this song still?
Yeah, I mean, that was the song my mum said was very angry, but that I wrote. She said you shouldn't write things like that. She was actually
Really?
disgusted with it. Yeah.
Were you angry when you wrote
And I
it?
mean, was I angry? No, I know she was angry with me for writing something that kind of emoted that sort of imagery.
But where did that come from? Was that a thing that you were feeling at the time, or did
Yeah,
you
I
go
think
to a
so.
certain place?
Demon Days, it's sort of, I get these feelings and then I need to sort of make a record around them, and I can't really totally define what it is. With sort of perspective, you see that what they were part of that period. I mean, this is just during that period. We were kind of 2 years in by 2005 into the Iraq War and everything, you know, all of that, everything that followed 9/11 really felt like I had to sort of get everything like that out. If you're thinking bad thoughts, it needs to get it out.
Kids with guns. Kids with
I'm here with Damon Albarn. It's been amazing chatting to you about these past 20 years. Do you see...
Well, you've skipped. I mean, it's a pretty liberal...
We could spend 20 years chatting about
Edit.
it, but then you wouldn't make any music. The last song I'm going to play is Humility. Really, I think I could have played anything off the Now. It is a heavy kind of Damon solo album in a way, isn't it? There's not that many guests on it.
Okay, this is it. This song is within the sort of dreamscape of humans. It's 2D, and he's stuck in the middle of this
Mad world.
Mad world, yeah. And this is just it's a collection of songs about that mad world.
Do you think
Who
there's
knows
more
what?
to the world? More chapters to this?
Well, I
particular bit?
sincerely hope so.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I look at Gorillaz in terms of stages, and I think maybe stage
Oh,
one is
mate.
you and Jamie at home watching MTV and making beats or whatever. Stage two is the initial tours when you kind of headed out on the road and did the Glastonbury stuff. Stage three is getting CA and Jeff and all those guys in the band.
Yeah.
Where does it go after this? But you were going to say something. You were going to say you can't do it forever.
Well, you can't do it because I've got other stuff I've got to do. This is the thing, you know, if you're a farmer, which I've always seen myself as, you can't harvest all your crops at once. And they're seasonal anyway.
Damon, thank you very much for coming in.
Well, thank you very much.
You can find all of these tunes and the entire Gorillaz back catalogue on Apple Music. This has been the Gorillaz Essentials playlist. We're going to end it with Humility.
Well, that...